So I've been watching some NASCAR this year, 2025 season, and I was kind of thinking to myself that it's really changed, like a lot. And then I think what really kind of made me come to that conclusion um, is just everything. The cars are different. We've had the same, I think, with these Gen 7 cars. We've had them with Gen 7, Gen 6, Gen 8. I forget which one they are, but we've been having those cars for, I think, 22, right? So, and they've been, when they first came out, they were atrocious. They were they were catching on fire. They were spitting out all the time. You know, the transaxle situation wasn't working right. It just was not good. The lug nut situation wasn't working right. Like things weren't looking good. 2025, we haven't had a lot of issues with that. You could put the Ryan Pierce or whatever. I figured his name Ryan Pierce, right? I don't know. Put his incident in there with the situation of um, underneath the car and catching air and all that. Other cars have done the same thing, but not like that. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Like the way it actually held, it just was weird. But um, I don't know. I found that to be funny. Um, then this whole thing. I think they started this last year or maybe the year before with the green light checker situation and throwing a yellow ending the race. So if there's like a lap or two laps left and they spin out, they just throw the yellow and that's it. For me, that's like really stupid. It's dumb. It's like you watch that whole NASCAR series, right? You watch the whole race and then you come down to the last few seconds and you don't get to watch them actually duke it out for the win. Totally, that's just my opinion. Um, and another thing too is like I haven't been on like really watching it too much last year just because I just lost interest. And I actually told myself this year I wasn't going to watch it. I found myself kind of watching it because wintertime not doing anything. I haven't been feeling great and I haven't really had any ability to be able to go out and do stuff. But the it's kind of just on and it's kind of like a comfort show. Like for my fiance, she'll watch Family Guy all day, every day because it's her comfort show. She doesn't have to pay attention to it. She can just put it on. For me, when the race starts, I'll watch the first 25 laps, and then after that, I'm kind of checking out, just because of how I'm not. That's why been watching a lot of Supercross too, because it's way more interesting. It's shorter times. They're always racing close because of how short the times are. It's just way more entertaining, and there's a few other things about Supercross that I do like compared to NASCAR, but that's a different story from the day. Um, how they can fix it. So this is a really unpopular opinion, I think, because I don't think everybody will agree with me. Because I don't, which is I think it is shortening races. I think my generation of Gen Z has such tiny attention spans, and I'm not included totally. There are some things I have. I think the phones make it worse, but there are some things I do find myself having like a shorter attention span with. But the main thing is like taking like the Daytona 500, which I think is like a 200 lap race, right? Squishing that down to 120 laps, or same thing with Talladega, um, and then getting rid of some tracks like Atlanta. What's the point? Like Atlanta isn't. There's really it's. I watched a truck race actually in 2020 with Stuart Friesen, I think his name is. I'm murdering his name, sorry. And then Kyle Busch, and that last few laps, dude, super entertaining, super great, super close racing, good stuff. But other than that, other than that moment I saw, I'm sure there's been other moments like that in Atlanta. That was the only time in that whole race I kind of saw some skill. Those two battling out, they were actually using driving and skill. Now this is coming a lot of shit from. This is coming from somebody that's never driven a race car. This is coming from somebody that is pretty much a keyboard warrior in a sense. I've done a little bit with the enduro car race that. I kind of got a feel for the dirt track stuff. You know, I have very limited knowledge on that stuff. Is there some skill with holding the line and making sure you have control of the car and stuff? Yes, there absolutely is. But is there skill also? Is there a lot of luck in plays of super speedways? I don't think that's really debatable. I mean, I think everybody knows, like, Daytona 500, Jimmy Johnson was pretty much doing jack and squat the whole race, and he ends up finishing third because of a wreck. Right place at the right time. A third place is a third place, just like a win's a win, but still, like, I don't know. Now, how you can fix it, like I said, shortening the races. That's a really unpopular one, I think. Um, I think another really unpopular one is going electric. I don't want to go electric. I'm not saying that, but there is another. I think those like the most two, oh, three. There's three really unpopular opinions in NASCAR, and that is electric cars, shortening the races, and quieter cars. So electric cars would kind of actually do two, would kind of be two of them. My opinion, and some of it, is get rid of spec racing. So my proposal is to have the have the manufacturers. I know you can never get totally away from spec racing. If it was my way, dude, I'd fucking have them take a stock, semi-stock. You can probably do an exhaust. You can tune the ECU. You can do all that stuff. Put a cage in it. Take a stock Camaro, Mustang, Camry. Do all that stuff. Tune the ECU. Do the exhaust. That's it. I mean, that's it. And you can go out there. If it has a supercharger, it has a supercharger. You can go out there and race for that manufacturer. Because manufacturers nowadays, they don't have anything. There's no. I think there's TRD, but I think that has nothing to do with Japan. I don't think. I could be wrong. I should have done a little more research, but as far as I know, like being in a Ford car and a Chevy car, they're all pretty much the same. Um, I'm pretty sure like the truck series guys, they all run the same push rod motors. I mean, I don't know. I feel like we should. That's what I would want to do first of all. And I know that would never happen, ever. None of this will happen. This is all hypothetical, but it's kind of cool to picture it in your head what it would be like if that did happen. But um, if you couldn't do that, the next best situation is keep the spec racing to a point. Allow the manufacturers to put any motor from a mass-produced vehicle that they make. So they could be putting um, the biggest car engine they can put in a car. For the truck series, they can put the biggest truck engine they can fit in there, and let them race. Let them race in the spec cars, same weight stuff, same tires, same all that shit. It's just the motor itself has to come from Chevy. It has to come from Ford. It has to come from Dodge. It gives it a little bit more interest because then you get to see a manufacturer, basically a manufacturer fighting each other, and I don't know. For me, that would be more entertaining. And it would actually make, if you couldn't shorten the races, it actually might make it a little bit more entertaining to watch. Getting rid of tracks like Atlanta and getting rid of tracks like you could kind of keep Dover, I guess. Um, you could keep Walklands Glen. Trying to think of a track you can, maybe Darlington you can get rid of. I mean, Darlington, I'd say if you're gonna have Bristol and Darlington, pick one. You don't have to do both of them. Don't have to do both. Martinsville a keep because Martinsville in itself is very unique. I actually think I feel like a Toyota would win that, like a stock Toyota Camry versus those two in Martinsville. I think a Toyota would win that with the V6, but um, that's my opinion on it. I don't want this to get too long. Um, now, if you did get rid of those tracks, what would you put in their place? Go to some of these big dirt tracks, dude. Start bringing them to dirt tracks. Start bringing them to off maybe like an off-road road course situation. It's not road, but like almost like a rally situation. That'd be kind of cool. Change it up, you know. And that's still NASCAR because you got to think the moonshiners and shit when they were running away from the police, they were doing this through backwood trails. So they weren't racing through backwood trails. I mean, they were kind of doing something like the whole Daytona, the original one, where they go from sand to pavement. It'd be kind of cool if we did something like that again. But NASCAR is going woke, man. They're just, they're gonna get the electric car thing. It's gonna happen. Like I think we're gonna have one more generation of a gas vehicle, and then after that generation, so if this is Gen 7, Gen 8, the Gen 8, Gen 9 will be a gas vehicle, but Gen 10, Gen 10, Gen 9, I'm telling you, it's gonna be electric. So that's my opinion on it. My 10-minute rant. I'll leave this video as it is. Um, but yeah,